fans, and welcome to the latest video for you. Well, as you know, we're 5 sleeps away from the big one, Usyk versus Joshua. But tonight I want to talk about this. This is going to be an absolute belter. 30 years in the making. 30 years. Now there's a bit of a history to this. If you don't know the history, you're probably living under a rock. But if you're around my age, or you've been a fight fan for many years, then you'll know all about it. But for those who don't, I'll do a quick rundown and we'll see what's what. Now, the press conference for this was actually on Friday, but I've waited till now to do this to see what the reactions have been, what's been said, and what's what. But I think I'll do this now. As I say, the Usyk and Joshua is the big fight of this week, which I'll cover. Obviously tomorrow, the day after, every time it goes live, I'm going to come on and say what we think, what's what. I'll obviously comment on a few things towards the end of this video about it, but for now, this is all about this fight. This is the one, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor, the Destroyer, Benn. Rivals since birth. This is family pride and legacy at stake. This is a big one. So, here's where it all started and what it's all about. So, this goes back 30 years, okay? This goes back 30 years. The rivalry originally was between the fathers, Chris Eubank Jnr, simply the best, and Nigel, the Dark Destroyer, Benn. Now, these two just didn't get on. That was that, they just did not get on. The history behind it all is fascinating, okay? So, Senior and Nigel Benn, which is Conor's father, fought twice in the 1990s, in 1990 and 1993. Absolute gorillas. So we go to the background first of all of the dads. I think that's the best thing we'll look at right away. So what we do know is that Nigel Benn started his career boxing when he was still in the army. He was actually still stationed in Northern Ireland when he went through the ranks. He turned pro, went right to the middleweights, and eventually this contest was always talked about between him and Chris Eubank. There was always a rivalry there, it was always talked about, you know, it was absolutely crazy. Now, Chris Eubank had a bit of a strange upbringing as well. At the age of 16 he was in trouble, he lived in London, he was in trouble all the time, so he moved to New York with his mum, and he was hanging out in the Bronx. Happens to find a gym there, Staleman's, one of the best known gyms around. Goes in, does what he does, reaches 19, comes back to England, and the rest is history. Now these two really did dislike each other. The run up to the fight, the press conference where they actually signed the contracts, Nigel Benn actually stated that he hated Chris Eubank. Hated. That's a strong word to use, isn't it? But that's what he said. That's where it comes from. The family feud was absolutely... It was there, it was at it, you know. So, the first fight was in 19... Let me see, I've got it all down here. Bear with me. The first fight, okay, so was at the Birmingham NEC on the 18th of November 1990. Absolutely grueling fight. If you can watch it on YouTube, put it on, it's an absolute belter. The end of round 9, Eubank stopped Benn. Now the thing is, if Benn could have stood a little bit longer, a few more seconds, the bell would have saved, he'd have probably got through. God knows what would have happened after that. But as it happened, the referee stopped. He was taking punishment, but to me, he was still thrown back. But anyway, that's that. What can you do? That's history. Booshko. But that was a grueling fight. After the fight, Chris Eubank actually said that he'd never fight Nigel Benn again because he was in that much pain. When they interviewed him after the fight, Nigel Benn said, look, I can't speak, I'm in that much pain. What had happened is Nigel Benn had hit him that hard at one of the shots, and it actually severed a part of Chris Eubank's tongue. And he said, you know, the pain, he couldn't believe he'd never been hit that hard. Whatever, so he said he'd never ever go through that again. But as it stands and the way the people are, they demanded the rematch. 3 years later, well, it was on. It was on. The second fight was at Old Trafford. That was the 9th of October 1993. absolutely fascinating night. That was a moody night. For days it had been raining and they were worried whether it'd go ahead, but it just went misty and hazy, just to add to the whole atmosphere, you know, when it happened. So Eubank comes to the ring, then Benn. There's absolutely no love lost between these two at all. So this fight actually went the full 12 rounds. Now, again, anyone who knows about boxers lost it will tell you, in their opinion, Nigel Benn won. It was given a draw. The actual cards that come through from the judges scored it. 115, 113. Eubank, 114, 113. Benn, and 114, 114. Even Stevens made the draw. Now, at the time, that meant that Benn retained the WBC title, and it meant that Eubank kept the WBO title. Now, both warriors gave it their all, and that, let me tell you, it was 12 grueling rounds, absolutely grueling. Now, the thing is, Nigel Benn letting late on in the fight was actually deducted a point for a low blow. That's a bit with you, my dog is absolutely mad. And unfortunately, if anything comes into our car park and the headlights go across, sets him off. Fucking bonkers. I do apologise, but there's nothing else I can do about it. Ted! Hey! Ted! Up! Come here. Yeah. So, the thing is, when the fight was declared a draw, obviously Nigel Benn was disgusted, because obviously if he hadn't had that point taken away for a low blow, he'd have won. Many people say he shouldn't have had the point taken away anyway. I mean, even after the fight, when he'd done the post-fight interviews right after it, Benn admitted, Eubank admitted that it was a hard-fought fight. He was happy with the draw, I'll be honest with you, he was happy with it. Nigel Benn was that disgusted, he wouldn't even do the interview, he left Gary Tibbs, his manager, to do it. As I say, anyone that knows about it, anyone knows about boxing, will know that. Hello, Tam, you're all right, love. Will know that. You know, it was Nigel Benn did win that. There's no two ways about it. The third fight was supposed to go ahead, but it just didn't happen. Just let me see what's going on here. Tammy, I think if you talk about Chris Eubank, yeah, it's his son. This fight is his son's Chris Eubank Jnr, which I'll come to in a sec, actually, about all. So yeah, so the third fight was required, but it never happened. And basically the public wanted that. That's what they wanted. The public always wanted the third fight, which never happened. It just didn't. Then we move ahead 30 years. The sons are now in their own right fantastic boxers. You know, when you look at their records, you know, I think Conor Benn is 21-0. He hasn't been beat. I think Chris Eubank's only been beat twice. One of them was against George Groves, which is an absolute hell like that for the Continental Belts. So they've both got good pedigrees of their own. They've both moved the father's shadows. You know, it's going to be iconic. I say there's a lot of hatred there. It's gone on for a long, long time. As I say, you know, Chris Eubank always says that he remembers hearing Nigel Benn say he hated his dad. He remembers his mum looking after him, you know, with all the pain after the fight, with the tongue being missing and that. And of course, Nigel Benn in the fight, in the first fight, his eye was closed, completely his left eye was closed. So these two really went for it. The sons have now taken up the mantle. It was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. But I'll be honest with you, I thought it would be a lot later in Chris Eubank and Conor Benn's career. I'm surprised it's happened so quickly. But it is the fight that the public of the UK and I think the world really want to see. This will be a fight for legacy. Now, there's a lot at stake. There's an awful lot at stake on this. You know, it really is. So let's go for this now. So the actual fight is Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor the Destroyer Benn. It's going to be on October the 8th at the O2 Arena in London. It's pay-per-view exclusive to THSES. And let me explain about THSES. I subscribe to THSES. It's £7.99 a month, and believe you me, it's well worth that. When you think BT Sports, Sky and Live on 25s a month, you know, THSES, it really do. You get all the top fights. boxing, not so much the MMA, but definitely boxing. Well worth it, you know. Honestly, if you can download them on your telly, it's well worth putting on. Say DAZN, DAZN, $7.99 a month, all the top fights. Now this is part of the package that's gone. So if you've already paid $7.99, you've got this fight lined up anyway. Absolutely, it's going to be a real brawler. Now it's a catch weight. If people don't understand what catch weight weights, a catch weight basically is every division has set weights. Okay, a catch weight is when a weight is decided between the two fighters. That they might be a different weights. One might be a welter, one might be middle. You know, one might be a heavyweight, one might be a light heavyweight. But they will come to an agreement what they're going to fight at. These are both agreeing now they're going to fight at 157 pounds. Now, this is where all the fun starts. If it goes to the press conference, Chris Eubank is actually going to have to drop down to a weight that he's not forced at since he was 18. Conor Benn is going up a few pounds. It's going to be a little bit easier for Conor Benn because he can eat, hydrate and get in the ring ready. Chris Eubank, by his own admission, has said, you know, he's going to find it hard for the weigh-in 24 hours before, then to rehydrate, be the best. Now, the press conference, which I found, I don't know whether it was an excuse or any, Chris Eubank did state that he will only be at 60% fitness and 60% best because he feels that's all he needs to fight Conor Benn, because if he doesn't and it gets any better, it will be as he said, a public execution, and he will destroy Conor Benn. To me, it's excuses being made already. You know, to say that, you know, you're going to fight at 60%, I find extremely crazy. Now, Chris Eubank Jr. has also stated that if he doesn't win, if Conor Benn wins, he will retire. He will retire. He says basically in this fight in a lose-lose situation, okay? So if he wins, everyone will say, well, you know, you beat a kid who's only young, he should have waited till he was later on his career, blah, blah, blah. If he loses, then everyone will say, well, where do you go from here? No one's going to want to fight you. So in a way, he is in a lose-lose situation, but that's what he's saying. You know, lose, he's finished. If he wins, people will say, well, you know, if he did it too quickly, it was unfair, Conor Benn was young. Which, you know, to me, Eubank's coming out with all these crazy, I mean, at the press conference, even Conor Benn said to me, are you kidding? You're telling me you're not going to be 100% ready? Whether it's just mind games, it probably is. He's very much like his old fella, very controversial, you know, it's one of them. Now, the other thing as well is that, at the moment, Chris Eubank Sr. is missing. He was supposed to be at the press conference, he wasn't there. Chris Eubank Jr. has actually admitted he doesn't know where his dad is. Says his dad spoke to him a couple of minutes before the press conference, but he doesn't know where he is. Now, Chris Eubank's been getting signed by Roy Jones Jr. for a long time, but he has stated that he would always have Roy Jones Jr.'s corner for every fight, but this one's different. He wants his dad in the corner. Now, whether Chris Eubank Sr. is willing to do that, I don't know. Now, I do know Conor Benn wants his dad in the corner, which could make things very interesting, because you'll have four guys who absolutely hate each other in one ring at one time, and it could get very fun, to be honest. Yeah, so that's where we're going on that one. This is where we're going on that one. I can't wait. I really can't wait. You know, it's going to be really interesting, you know, where this goes. Me personally, I can't figure it out, because I like both fighters. I like Chris Eubank. I followed his career from when he started. Very much like his dad, his attitude, his persona, everything. But I also like Conor Benn, because at the end of the day, I always like Nigel Benn, the Dog Destroyer. Now, Nigel Benn, I remember when he fought Eubank the second time, he was described as, when he went into the ring, he didn't go into a fight, he went in to commit murder. If you watch early Nigel Benn fights, you'll see he just used to hit with so much intent, so much power. Quite unbelievable, quite stunning, to be honest with you. You know, it really is. Conor Benn also says that he's going to be savage as well. And if he sees an opening, he'll take it. Now, the thing is, Chris Eubank is a physically bigger man. Not a great deal, but he is bigger. Whether Conor Benn is going to have that power to size ratio to knock him out, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, Conor Benn can knock out. The majority of his 21-0 fights have been knockouts, and in spectacular fashion. I mean, when he knocks out, he knocks clean out. There's no two ways about it. Chris Eubank, well, he's got many distances, and you know, the fights that sometimes he has won, you think, did he really deserve that? But I like Chris Eubank, so for me, I can't call it. I think in my heart of hearts, I think Conor Benn will get it. I've got to be honest. I think Conor Benn's going to be stronger, and he will take it. Sheepdog, how are you, mate? You okay? Yeah. So it will be interesting. It will be very interesting. As I say, all four men in the ring at once. When the decision comes at the end of the fight, whichever way it goes, that could get very interesting. Very interesting. Because one dad ain't going to be happy. There's no way it's ever going to be a draw, and I don't think it's going to go the distance, I've got to be honest with you. Unless Eubank covers up and just rides the storm, it might go to 12, but I can't see it. I really can't. And Conor Benn is far too explosive, and he will go for the knockouts. And boy, can he! I mean, he can knock out hard as the head to the body. You know, this kid is good. He is so much like his old fella Nigel Benn, as I say, was an absolute animal. His son took over. Now, let's see where this goes. I say this is family pride. This is real family pride at stake. So I'll keep us all informed along the way where it's going. This was just a little bit of history to let you know where it started, how it started, why it started, and that's why the title says 30 years in the making. This fight has been wanted now by the British public for 30 years with the dads, but the sons are going to do it instead. And let me tell you now, the sons, as I said earlier on in this video, are good boxers in their own right. To go away from the dads' names, they are both spectacular, hard-hitting, both got good engines. It really will be a good fight, this. Let me just see what everyone's saying here. Eileen, Sammy's mum, good evening, how are you, love? I hope you're all okay. Keep smiling and just live life to the max. So yeah, so as you know, as I said at the beginning of this video, 5 sleeps till a big one. Usyk, Joshua, you can see where I'm going. I've got to be honest, I cannot stand Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, never liked him, never rated him. I don't think he deserved the rematch win against Andy Ruiz Jr. For me, he just run away from him for 12 rounds. He just run away. You know, he just kept him at length and wouldn't engage. And I felt sorry for Andy Ruiz Jr. because at the end of the fight, the end of the 12, well, the last minutes or so in the 12, Ruiz was actually screaming at him, "Will you fight me? Fight me!" And he wouldn't. He just pranced around, used his jab. Of course, because of being a much bigger guy, he had the superior reach. Therefore, he could just jab all night, keep Ruiz at bay. Wouldn't have scored in shots. Got his title back. But then again, as I say, when he come against Usyk the first time, boy did he reach his match. I can't wait for this. I really can't. One of the boxing factions that they're fighting the belts for today has come out. There's been a lot of talk about Usyk jacked up. He is looking so much bigger than he did in the first fight. And of course, all the haters saying that he's on steroids, blah, 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 blah. I think it's the WEC or WCE, one of them. They've turned around now and said they've checked. He definitely is not on steroids, and he's worked his way back up into a fight. But at the end of the day, he had to. You know, Joshua's lost weight, strange, and Usyk's put on. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I can't see Joshua winning. I think it will go to distance. I've got to be honest. I think it will go to distance. I think with Anthony Joshua, he has got a good chin. You know, we've seen that. You know, in every fight he's lasted. You know, it's only when he sort of give up himself and took the hide. So it's going to be interesting that to see. And the other news is, which I'm going to do a thing on tomorrow, is Tyson has actually surrendered his ring belt, his ring magazine belt, which I'm stunned at. I mean, obviously now it turns out the whole thing with Derek Chisora, it was bollocks. It was never going to happen, you know. And Tyson now retired So he's retired, come back and re-retired, but he's actually surrendered one of his belts. Now the thing is, he hasn't given up the main belts, which makes everyone think he'll sit back and see what happens between Usyk and Joshua. I think if Usyk wins, Tyson will retire. I don't think he'll want to fight Usyk, I'll be honest with you. If not, obviously the fight that everyone wants is Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. That will be on as probably as a mandatory. So that's the one that everyone's waiting for. And I think that's the only one that's going to really bring Tyson out of retirement. I think the whole thing with Chisora was a wind-up. Tyson being Tyson, you know, saying about this new trainer that has absolutely no pedigree. You know, Sugar Hill has tweeted, well, I don't know about that, so good luck to it. So, you know, I think it was a Tyson, tongue-in-cheek being Tyson, the way he does. We'll see. Again, I'll keep us all informed, not fight fans. But at the moment, as I said, yeah, tonight was about that. Let's look back on here, because this is the one. Yeah, this is the one that I'm really looking forward to. Of course, this week can be a burn, but this one is the one that's gonna. I'll get a lot of people talking. So we'll see where it goes and what have you. Anyone else? Is it Jin? Is it Jin? Wow, hello, a couple of strangers in there. Yeah, so there you have it. I'm not calling night now because I'm actually off to the gym. Just want to do this. Obviously, I'm going to be doing stuff all this week about with the Usyk fight. There's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot of press conferences to be done. Let's see where that one goes. And then obviously we've got another couple of big fights coming up. The Canelo, obviously Canelo Triple G. That's going to be another one that I can't wait for. I did read out the other night where all the big ones are coming. I'll just have a quick re-look through what we've got. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got the Usyk Joshua, and then one after that one I think the one I'm looking for is the Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. That's going to be a really good fight. And of course, yeah, September 17th is the Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin Triple G. That's going to be interesting. I still think Golovkin's at the end of his career. I think Canelo will wang him, but there you go. Then we've got the Joe Joyce Joseph Parker, which I've got no interest in at all. I'll watch it obviously because I have to do these reports, but no. And we've got the Ricky Hatton Mark on some of the is it supposed to be an exhibition fight? So they say. So yeah, there you go, yeah. So for everyone to come in, thanks very much. If you're watching later on, please do me a favour. This is all new, I'm starting off and getting there. As you know, we've managed to keep me swearing tonight. Amazing. So if you do like it, you've liked what you've seen, it's only going to get better, much better. It's just me starting to work out how StreamYard works, to throw pictures in, videos in, whatever, just to make the stream better. Believe me, it will get better. So if you like what you see, you do like it, do me a favour, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm on. It really will mean the world to me because I need to get this up and running, get it right, get it doing. I'm going to start a TikTok account this week because that seems to be the latest thing, TikTok. So, you know, get it. Of course, there's a Telegram group up there. I don't know if Tasha's listening. If she is, Tasha, can you put the Telegram link in? If that's possible. No, surely not. Sure, you're not still getting in trouble. Come on, man. You have to get on the live stream. You're going to have to get on Telegram, mate, and let us know what's happening. You're going to have to, mate. I can't believe it. You're still getting yourself in all kinds of problems. Fucking hell. Okay. Well, that's about it. I don't think Tasha's heard me there. Just put the link in. Sasha, can you put the link in for the Telegram? Okay, she's going to do that now before we go off. So, yes, looking forward to it all. MMA as well, looking forward to it all. That's coming up. There's going to be some big fights coming up there. I need to that's good. I'm like that. It's good, mate. You can stay with us. I'd like that, mate. You've been around. You, Tammy, Sheepdog, and I've been around for a while. I'd hate to fucking lose you. So it'll be interesting, yeah. I say this week will probably mostly concentrate on the Alexander Usyk fight, and then, as I said, I'm gonna be putting in the sumo, so you'll all know what the sumo's about. Sumo's fascinating. I've said it time and time again. You've got to watch it, but it takes so long to understand it. There's so many rules, and it's all down to honour and fucking craziness. And the big one to me that I love watching is the slap fight, and watching two big fellas stand there just slap each other across the face. Only in America. Only in America. And then of course there's the BKB, the bare knuckle, which at the minute is in a bit of a quiet stage. So yeah, there's lots of me to do. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I get everything to work on here, but I'll do it. So good then, that's it for tonight. I'm off to the gym. I say thank you very much everyone to come in. It's a new venture for me doing it this way. I have those that know I've had YouTube for a long time, but it was a totally different setup, totally different thing. This is more, to get a little bit more technical, but I'll get there. Let me say it, I will get there. And if you, for those who are watching now, stick around, because you'll find with me is I say it as I say it. I don't hold back. I don't care what I say. I try and curb the swearing now, because obviously if there's any young fight fans watching, I don't want them to really be that influenced, but there will times that I slip up because they get very, very animated, but hey ho, such is life, innit? So anyway, from me, thanks very much from Tasha, who's my tech, who does all my tech stuff, because I haven't got a clue. I've had a new banner done tonight by a good friend. You know who you are. Thank you very much. It was greatly appreciated. You know who you are. I'm not going to say fuck all. Oh, there you go. There's the F-bomb. You know what I'm on about. Anyway, listen everyone, join us in Telegram. Keep you informed of everything's going on there as well. As I say, please smash that like button. To Tammy and Mum, Sheepdog, thank you very much. Tasha, thanks for being the tech. Soiree. And I'll catch you all very, very soon. I'm off to the gym. Catch you all later.